When I first started coming here, it was just Corey, my son, and myself. And my husband was just not into church. He basically believed in God, but that was about it. And Corey and I kept going, and we started getting more and more involved. I even remember a campaign they had before we started building Loxahatchee. Pastor Dale brought in a bunch of white rocks, and he said, I want you to put your name on somebody that you'd like to see come to church one day. And we're going to put these rocks in the foundation of this church. And I grabbed that rock, we wrote down my husband's name on this white rock, and we put it in the bucket, and it was put into the foundation of the church. Through a whole bunch of God miracles and circumstances, my husband came to believe in Christ, and we started attending Community of Hope as a family, giving back, jumping in, serving in many different capacities. My husband is extremely involved in the food distribution program through the church. It's just permeated through every aspect of our life. When I first came to Community of Hope, tithing was a big sore spot in my life. I didn't know really how to go about it, and at the time when I came here, my husband was not here. Tithing was, I just would give a little bit here and there, and that's where I started just giving more of my time, because that's all I could give. Once my husband became a partner here at Community of Hope, we sat down and talked about it, and he says, we just can't do the 10% yet. And I'm like, we don't have to. It's something we can work towards. I've gone to many churches throughout Palm Beach County, and I've experienced those churches who just want your money, they don't want anything else, and I've walked away from those churches. I can tell you, since I've been at this church, there's no more honest, truer church that I've ever been to than Community of Hope. Everything has always been wide open. There's nothing ever been hidden. The financials are on the table. If ever you have a question, you can always ask any lead team member or the pastor, and they will sit down and talk to you and show you the financial statement. There's no secrets here. I didn't start out by just chucking out finances willy-nilly. I waited, I watched, I observed. It's been the same grounding ever since I've been here. There's no ulterior motives, there's no hidden agendas, and that's what makes Community of Hope special for me. True generosity to me is freely giving what's not mine. On Wednesday nights at our student ministry, my husband had it on his heart that most of the adult leaders are coming straight from work. They deserve to have more than just a slice of pizza once in a while for dinner. So every other Wednesday, my husband cooks a full meal for all the adult leaders. This week he's going to be making ham, green beans, mac and cheese. You know, he likes to be able to give back, and I support that. He has more of these visions, and I've become more of that, okay, what's God telling you to do now? Because I'm all in. And from him, that's where I've experienced true generosity. You know, he is just so giving from his heart that he's taught me a whole lot about what it is to be generous. Jesus has showed up in so many grand ways, and I do love the story going back to where my husband's name was on that white rock in the foundation. He never knew it until just a few years ago. Pastor Dale was giving a message, and he brought up that whole thing about the rocks in the foundation of the church, and I got to lean over to him and I said, honey, one of those rocks had your name on it. And we just shared that moment. Tears filled our eyes, and it was a beautiful thing, but I never told him up until that point in time. So it was kind of like God nudging me, it's okay to let him know.